Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. It is indeed the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake coming up in just 1 second. Actually, a few seconds. However, if you need to get in touch with Blake, you can. It's Sloan Realty Group. The phone number there is 808-SOLD. Remember, you got to do that area code now, 843-808-SOLD. You can go to the website, which is simply blakesloan.com. Sloan is S-L-O-A-N, blakesloan.com. Go there and find out all the information we're going to be talking about today. Got a lot of great numbers to get to, what's happening in the market, hot buyer alert, special guests in the studio, and a whole lot more over the next 30 minutes. If you didn't get that contact information, we'll repeat it several times over the next half hour, so you'll have a lot of time to get to it. In the meantime, though, let's see what's going on in the world of Blake Sloan.
What's up, everyone? Kind of pumped to be here. It's like 3 shows in a row for 3 weeks straight, right? So no reruns in the past couple weeks. Been in town. Like I said, we plan on doing that a lot more going forward as I'm here. So got a lot of cool stuff this week. We're going to dig into the micro market numbers, where last week we really gave the macro, right? So that's one thing, that's the overall. So this week we're going to look at how does your neighborhood compare to other neighborhoods out there, and there's a lot of discrepancy, or difference, I should say, in some areas versus others, like rural versus Myrtle Beach. So we'll talk about how your area compares versus others today. We're also talking about some success stories we had. Had a really, really cool, crazy story. One of our sellers, we brought the buyer to the seller, and interesting kind of history behind that. I'll talk about that. What that means. Got a special guest in the studio, Dan Brown, one of our top buyers agents this year, and we'll talk about what he's seeing in the world of buyers, for home buyers out there, that can help both our seller listeners and our possibly potential buyer listeners to kind of get some insight or info on kind of what goes on through the buying process, what's happening in the marketplace right now. And if we have time, we'll get to the article last week we didn't get to, which is millennial buyers are finally coming to the marketplace, and we're seeing that a lot. So we'll hit that as well and kind of dig into those numbers for sure.
Well, as we said, a lot of great stuff to get to, so hang on for the next 30 minutes. Now, if this is the first time you're listening to Blake, let me give you a little bit of an introduction to who he is. The real estate whiz kid, that's what he's been called, and featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, NBC. You've seen him on Fox and Friends several times. A Realtor magazine, a lot of other possible publications. Plus, you've heard on this very radio station, personal endorsements from Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck. One by itself is great. Put them all together, it is unprecedented. Now, we learn every week what some of the trademark systems are with Blake Sloan at the Sloan Realty Group. And even if you listen on a week-to-week basis, we just want to kind of reinforce what they are. So for the first-time listeners, for the people who've been listening from week to week, Blake, just go ahead and kind of reinforce all that information you want to give.
Absolutely. This is the biggest fight that I actually fight, I would say, with clients that are out there, potential clients. Our loyal listeners don't really have to worry about that, but anybody I meet with is not a listener to the radio station or the radio show. We really talk about the number one variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller or a home buyer is 100% related to the agent that you choose, period. So I talk to people all the time who've had their house listed for 2 months, 2 years, multiple years, 500-600 days. Anyways, we're seeing all these things. It's always that they think real estate agents are the same. It could not be further from the truth, right? It's like saying that all doctors are the same, all lawyers are the same. It's very, very similar here in our business. So what we did is, so in the home selling process, there's 118 variables from A to Z. We created a system reverse engineering every single one of those variable points to create maximum leverage for our clients to give them the ultimate competitive advantage. So it's just like stacking the dominoes from A to Z to have predictable results every single time. That's called our guaranteed sold system. It's the only proven system to sell homes twice as fast and for 21% more money than traditional methods. And for our home buyers out there, we have our unfair advantage home buying system, which gets you priority access to all the hottest new deals, foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, all before most real estate agents even know about them. In addition to that, it helps you get access to the best financing through the most aggressive lenders, and basically mortgage lenders, and also the strongest negotiation through strategy in that entire process to give our clients the ultimate competitive advantage, either in the buy side or the sales side, and both of those systems are proven step by step.
All right, as you heard, there's a lot of stuff to get to in the next 30 minutes, so stick around. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Again, if you need to get in touch with Blake, and you probably will after listening to the show, you can give him a call at 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD over at Sloan Realty Group. Or you can go online to blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com. Coming up next, We'll look at the real estate market and get some numbers on that, and also what the mortgage rates are looking like right now as well. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. And that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at BlakesGuarantee.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline we agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Welcome back into the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be looking at some mortgage rates in just a second, see what's going to be saving or costing you money. But it's time right now to get a real estate update, see what's happening. We'll do that. But remember, if you want to get a test with Blake, the phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com. Blake, what's the latest on the real estate in the area here?
All right, so here last week we had some brand new numbers in, and it was very, very powerful numbers. They were great in regards to sales being up. A quick recap, single-family, which are homes, residential sales are up 9% month over month and 18% year-to-date. So it's great news in regards to the amount of homes being sold. Condo sales were up 8.9% for the month and up 9.7% year-to-date. Which is really good. The median sale price for homes is up 6.4% year-to-date. So you got a $100,000 house in January. Now it's with $106,400 overall, right, in regards to the whole market average. We'll cover in a minute some of the micro market numbers where they're kind of all over the place. But that's the residential lot sales were down a little bit. That's just because there's less inventory out there. So what we're going to do is kind of dig in. And the one thing we really saw last month, it's a huge number to kind of point out, is that pending sales were up massively. Up 17.9% for single-family homes, up 19.6% for condos. So those are going to be potentially sales this month or next month through the process, which is going to obviously lead to more increase in numbers. So we saw a decline there a lot of times in availability on stuff in the market. So I'm going to dig in, just hit a couple neighborhoods that people listen to here. They want to know, like, for example, some key metrics. Let's say Carolina Forest for the first one. Looking at last month, listings. So the amount of listings on the market in Carolina Forest went down 23%. And the amount of sales were up 30%. So you guys can see the problem there, right? So that's where if you're thinking about selling, the micro market numbers are the most powerful numbers for anybody out there. So just looking from a business standpoint, right? Anybody, so if you have, it doesn't matter if your widgets, whatever it is, if your inventory is down, right, 23.4%, your sales are up 30%, what can you have as a price? Goes up, right? So that's the one thing that you're seeing there, and that's a big thing to always remember. Price is always a lagging number, so that comes in months behind, usually a few months behind that you're seeing that. So a huge jump there. If you look at year-to-date numbers, listings are up 7% year-to-date. That's from the first month, but we saw a huge jump in pending sales this past month, which is why you saw the supply drop 23.4%, because sales up 30.4%. So there's a lot less stuff out there. Anybody can afford a thing to sell, call me. We need inventory there bad. We sell that ASAP, because we can sell it to investors who want to rent that out. Also selling that to first-time home buyers, even move-up home buyers in that area. Carolina Forest is hot right now. That's one thing. Obviously, the numbers seeing a 23% increase in sales. 30% increase in sales. A 23% decrease in volume is a big difference. So jumping into to Conway. So check this out. Conway's listing, the amount of homes for sale, inventory, aka inventory, jumped up 35.9%. And that sales are only up 7.1%. So you can see the difference of the importance of having an expert help you, advise you through this process, because the micro market numbers matter, right? If you don't know what your zip code is doing, what your specific neighborhood is doing, and you're able to reverse engineer your strategy based on that, right, you're leaving money on the table. And a lot of people do that. They don't realize that until after they sell, and they probably a lot of times don't ever remember that. So year to date, Conway, listings are up 6%, sales are up, closed sales up 13.3%. So and the median price there year to date is up 4.8%. Which is great news there as well. One thing to look about Carolina Forest I forgot to mention is the prices are up 8.5%. So there's all kind of differences in regards to where you're at. The one thing that you look at in Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet area, the inventory stayed the exact same. So obviously it didn't decrease or it didn't go up. Obviously the amount of sales matched the same amount of new listings came on the market, but closed sales are up 9.7% last month, up 11.3% year to date, and the prices there are up 8.5% year to date. That's one thing. Median sales price in Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet, $260,000. So some like Conway, for example, is a much lower number at $136,000. So it's important to know obviously what's going on in your specific area because our entire marketplace is all over the place. Georgetown, inventory stayed the same. Closed sales in Georgetown actually dropped, right? And overall, so interesting to kind of look at that. It's a smaller market. If you look at the actual year-to-date numbers in Georgetown, median sales price is down 21.5%. So that's interesting to kind of look at. So you see some are up, 20%, 30% amount of sales. Their sales are down 17%. So the micro market, that's why, from a nerding out standpoint, like I talk about sometimes, I like to nerd out the numbers because they're so powerful to know what's going on. We even built our own software that's a spreadsheet that digs into your neighborhood, and it tells us trends exactly what's going on. It automatically turns it into a visual picture of how many are protected to sale in the next 90 days, and we're able to reverse engineer where we need to be based on that. So Little River, new listing inventory is up 17.2%, 102 homes in the market there, and closed sales up 15.9%. Last month. Look at year to date. Sales are up 13.2%. The median sales price last month, though, in Little River, check this out, 23.9% increase. So you're seeing jumps over here and there, and you're seeing that inventory is drying up, where some of these houses that have been on the market for a while are finally getting scooped up. Different buyers are in town. So long story short, everywhere you can see just struggle for inventory, right? Being down in regards to the amount of new listings to be on there or the amount of inventory that overall. So overall inventory for Little River was down 2.3%. In the marketplace there. So interesting numbers there. Myrtle Beach, new amount of listings hit the market, up 3.7%. Closed sales though were up 29.6%. So that performing one of the better ones, right? They're one of the actually second place right there based on that. Median price last month up 4.7%. The median price in Myrtle Beach is $279,100. So you're able to kind of see that based on what's going on there. Obviously there's different pockets in different areas. Some are a few million. Some are basically 100,000. It's all over the place in regards to what you see there overall. And the days on market's gone down 11% for condos in Myrtle Beach. New listings, actually inventory for condos in Myrtle Beach is down 9.6%. Closed sales up 16.9%, and median sales price up 4.8% in the city of Myrtle Beach area. So that's basically 29577 zip code, and so that's something to kind of look at. Interestingly, there, North Myrtle Beach. Check this out. Inventory is down 19.6%. So that's another hot area. If you have something there in North Myrtle Beach, in these areas, think about call us. If you're thinking about selling, if it was listed before and it failed to sell, there's hundreds and hundreds of homes out there. We've been trying to actually reach out to some of these. Basically, they were listed 6 months ago, listed a year ago, or we've talked to a few people lately. They were listed in 2011, 2012, couldn't get it sold. So we actually listed it recently for much higher, and we're able to get it sold ASAP. And that's something anybody out there listening, if you have friends that you're talking to about real estate, share this information with them. And one thing, too, I just want to mention, while I'm thinking about it, is we always post all of our shows on YouTube so you guys can see. At least in the past, basically a couple of months. For a while there we didn't, but go to just YouTube, go to Sloan Realty Group. You can watch this episode. You can watch a lot of the other ones there, and you can see there in the comments, or at least in the description, what we talk about in each show, so you can kind of educate yourself and learn about that as well. So closed sales in North Myrtle Beach up 22.6%, which is great news there. Year to date, the price is up 8.1% year to date. So great numbers there. And the inventory, like I said, totally is down 19.6% for homes. Condos inventory is down 17.6% in regards to the amount of new listings overall. So North Myrtle Beach is very hot as well. Obviously, those are one of the two biggest. It's very similar to Myrtle Beach overall and Carolina Forest from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Pawleys Island, Litchfield, check this out. Inventory new listings there are down 31.5%. Increased sales up 50%. So huge jump, right? So inventory down 31.5. The actual close up 50%. What do you think it does to prices? Pushes them way higher, right? Significantly higher.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're seeing. And if you look at year to date, median sales price only up 3.2% right now. So what you're going to see is a lagging indicator now as inventory's dried up. People are realizing that. They're making offers on properties, multiple offers that they're not getting. Now they're going to have to be able to get more realistic, and obviously you'll see prices start to jump up. So anybody in Paulie's in those areas, call me. 808 Sold. We'll get you an updated market analysis for you. Very detailed. It's free. There's no obligation. No pressure here. It's very, very low key because we have enough business. Obviously, we don't push anybody. We either tell you, hey, look, it's going to sell, or it's not going to sell, and it's going to sell for this number, right? So we're very, very good from that standpoint. But the micro numbers are so cool to kind of go over and go into. But Paulie's Litchfield's hot because we talked about last week, one of the hottest areas of the marketplace is 200,000 to 300,000. And also one of the second hottest is basically 300,000 and above. Because a lot of people are moving in the high-end area. They were sitting on the sidelines for so long. Soxy area. Inventory there, new listings are down 31.4%. And check this out, closed sales year to date is up 39.9%. So huge inventory. Like a lot of it has to do with new construction, some new stuff there. But what you're seeing is it's almost like a different affordability range. So the affordability in Soxy is a little better than it is in Myrtle Beach. For example, the median price there is $153,950 for Soxy, and it's very close to everything, right? But it's very, very close to Myrtle Beach, and so you're seeing that people are scooping up that big time in the first-time home buyer world. Some people moving back up, so that's one thing that is very, very hot there for sure. But when you see a jump where inventory is down 31.4% and the sales are up that much more, that puts a lot of tightness on the chain, right, of the price basically elasticity there. So you're going to see that jump up big time, and these numbers are crazy to look at, and we can really predict what's going on forward with that as well. So same thing we're seeing in Surfside. Check this out. Surfside new listings are down 15.9%. Closed sales are up 9.9% year to date. Median sales price in Surfside last month alone was up 28.1%. Huge jump. That's prices. So year to date, Surfside's prices are up 15.0%. So all over the place in regards to numbers, amounts. It's important that someone you talk to can advise you based on those stats, because all we do is reverse engineer to win based on the numbers, right? Based on kind of what's going on there from that standpoint. So great information there overall. A lot of it has to do with where interest rates were as well, if you want to hop into that.
I'm just going to say interest rates. Those are some more numbers we're interested in.
So where we're at, it jumped up significantly from last week. Last week was 3.82%. Right now, 30-year fixed rate, 3.91%. So basically a tenth there. It jumped up significantly there. From 3.82 to 3.91. We're seeing that trend back up. Yesterday was actually 3.87. So we're seeing that trend back up towards 4%. They're still ridiculously low. Basically, when it's at 4% or below, you're looking at $500 per 100,000. That you're getting a loan for. So $200,000, $1,000 a month. We talk to so many first-time buyers that don't realize they can own for less than they can rent for, which is interesting enough. 15-year fixed rate, 3.19%. A 30-year FHA loan, 3.75%. And a jumbo, check it out, 3.72%. So it's actually cheaper to get the big money there, like we talked about. That's anything over $417,000. Are great news for sure.
All right, well, we got a lot of other great stuff to get to here in just a second. We got a hot buyer alert. We got a special guest in the studio and a whole lot more. Get to that in just a second. Remember, a lot of numbers you just heard. If you want to get recaps on all those and find out what's happening in your specific market, there's only one guy that knows that here along the Grand Strand. That's Blake Sloan. Call him at 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. You can go online as well to BlakeSloan.com. This is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hello, Myrtle Beach. It's Glenn Beck. And if you need to sell your property, you don't have to experience all the headaches and long nights that I had to experience when I finally sold my home in Connecticut. Because you have a celebrity right in your backyard, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group, that guarantees to sell your property at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake is going to pull out his checkbook and buy it himself. The Wall Street Journal ranks Blake among the top 100 real estate agents in North America, and I personally met Blake, and I can tell you that his national marketing program is unparalleled. Blake even gives you the option to get out of your contract at any point if you're not happy with his level of service, but you never will. He's the real estate agent I wish I could have called, Blake Sloan. Call him now at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website and see his interview on NBC. That's Blake'sGuarantee.com. Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group.
It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. If you weren't listening to Glenn Beck a second ago, that phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. You can go to BlakesSloan.com to get all the information we've been talking about, including the hot buyer alerts that's going on right now. As you heard Blake say, he's working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. And as you heard him say, some of those homes are hard to find because there's not enough on the market in some of the areas. So if you are thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately at 843-808-SOLD and let him know. It doesn't matter where you are in the price range, anywhere from $150,000 to $3.5 million. Call Blake, 808-SOLD. I know I was looking at the number of active home buyers that you have. Last week you were just under 18,000, and you cracked that barrier this week. You're over 18. You're about 18,400, actually 18,471 as far as active home buyers. And we mean active home buyers.
And that's one thing I always want to reiterate because that's that important, right? So, and I'll kind of go through right now. These people are searching on our site daily. They have an account with us, and they're logging in, searching, and the one thing that you'll see here is like they're all over from, and these people come very, very, very loyal, right? So we spend a massive amount of money in just having a search tool, but like for example, first one right now, Rob Cavey, he's on here, has been here 75 visits. Debbie Van Woo, 19 visits. Thomas Player, 179 visits. Ron Bell, 16 visits. Nicholas, I can't say your last name, sorry man, 333 visits, and there's a lot of people, 333 visits, right? He's been here a lot. And for example, his average sale price search is $434,000. One above that, $288,000. So we're seeing stuff all over the place. But
300 visits, you should learn how to do his last name. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't want to butcher it online for sure. So that's a good thing but the one thing that really mentioned, how do we do this? Why does it work like this? And I spend $10,000 a month driving traffic, right, through all this stuff here. And if I'm a single agent, we talk about this all the time, but our business model is one of the biggest things that really separate us from 90% of agents in North America, right? So it's a big thing from how it works. You have me, myself as a team leader. We have another listing partner named Randy, does a lot of listings, certain areas, certain price ranges. But the big differentiator, we have 7 buyers agents. These buyers agents all day long, every day, all they do is follow up with these buyer leads. So what it allows me to do, the bottom line is what we can do to win is I can spend more money to acquire a buyer client than an average agent, period. Because, spend $10,000 a month, if I had 21,000 leads, 18,471 leads total, the one thing we're looking at there is basically you're going to be out of business. You cannot sustain that doing that standpoint. So 18,471 active that are searching every day, 21,713 total. So a lot of those aren't logging in and searching recently. So just to clarify that. The one thing that we kind of run into though is I can spend more to acquire those. So we have people like Dan, we'll talk to in a second, all day long every day they're following buyers, bringing them to our listings. So what that does, it literally increases demand for our properties. We're good at matching up buyers with sellers, right? So anybody think about selling, if you failed before, the number one thing is business model. We call that an 8-track tape. So an average agent you see out there trying to juggle all the balls, work with buyers, sellers, do their admin, do the marketing, do the contract to close, that's an 8-track tape, right? So like the old school DJ days, right?
My day, yeah.
That's good. So now we're like the iPad 2. So from a business model standpoint, how we have that set up, I can really outspend the average agent 100 to 1. So I'm additional another $10,000 a month in radio and TV. So between radio stuff we have on the weekdays, also the Shark Tank stuff we run on Friday nights. So we drive much more traffic. So chances are, as a home seller, if you got 18,471 active buyers searching our site, we're going to be able to match that up, right? So it makes a big difference. If you want, I'll kind of hop into the success story. We have a really cool success story from this past week. A seller we have, and he's a very tough seller. He's awesome. We kind of go back and forth a lot of times, but he wanted results and he wanted a high dollar amount, right? And we try to do that. It's basically a $300,000 range, and we got maximum money for his house, and this is the coolest story ever. So we actually got an inquiry. We spent a massive amount of money. We spend the most money online. That's where the most eyeballs are at, right? Everybody goes online to search. Doesn't matter who you are. So we spent money there. Found a buyer who called us from New York in Yonkers from our marketing online, and they actually grew up in the house. Could not believe it. Called kind of freaking out and said, we can't believe this is even on the market. We don't make sure this is real. It's the same one we actually saw on your website. We bought a condo there 6 months ago, not really looking to buy anything, but we saw this house that we grew up in, and we want this house. So think about the power of, and that's one thing I was telling the seller. I said, how much, exposure we have to have for the people to be able to see it halfway across the country, right, that were just searching online, happened to come across it. They were not searching for it on purpose because they just bought something, they had no idea it was even out there, and they just happened to come across the right one. We were floored by doing that. And so I even mentioned to the seller, sometimes we surprise ourselves in regards to how good we are and what we do. And from that, because I never thought, one, that we'd be able to do that, and they were willing to pay, a very, very good amount of money for that they were comfortable with because they wanted that house. They grew up in it. They knew the house in and out. And they actually wrote it up, did it. We already done the home inspection and everything. This past week, they already did all that in 1 week. They're flying down the 6th to basically finalize everything. They already know the house, don't got to look at it again. But cool story, right? So think about how big that window has to be. If I'm some dude that's an old school agent, trying to do open house or trying to just do a newspaper ad, the chances are you're not going to get the right buyers there, right? So that's the power of having a model we do. And one thing we do is kind of talk about Dan if you want. I want to bring Dan in. Dan Brown, say hello.
How's it going?
So Dan's one of our top. He is our top buyers agent right now. He's crushing in our business model. But I always want to talk about for home sellers out there. He's people that one of the problems you have is you have too many leads, right?
Too many.
So we have a massive amount of leads that the buyers have, the buyers agents have. They're following up all day, every day. So for anybody out there listening, what would you say the biggest challenges, the biggest mistakes, or pitfalls you see a lot of the buyers make right now?
And the biggest thing that I've been seeing is that the buyers are going to certain realtors who don't have the experience, the knowledge, or the negotiation skills to make sure they get them the very best deal. They lose out on houses. They just feel very frustrated in the whole entire process because they don't have somebody who's an expert in the field and who's used to our market in general.
Right. So what happens? They make multiple offers on other properties. They don't get it,
right,
and they're frustrated. Right.
Absolutely.
So, and we even a lot of times talk about a proven process. Most people, buyers, just say, "I want to look at some houses," right, and they don't realize the power of having an agent. You had some buyers that they were adamant on using a mortgage person they knew
exactly
from out of town.
Yep.
And what happened there?
Turned out to be the actual person who they thought they knew, went from bank to bank and basically schemed them out of their money.
So they took a deposit down for some type of a VA fee or something.
VA
They
fee,
took a VA fee down. We have preferred lenders that we have vetted. I'm constantly finding new lenders, the best ones, the most aggressive ones, who lend the most money for the best rates. But they were adamant on using some of this. So the guy said he transferred to a different bank, right? And that's what delayed our closing. We found out 2 days before closing.
2 days before closing.
And that the guy had taken their whatever deposit. I don't know what they call that. Basically the VA fund, the VA fee.
Yep.
For that, he also took the appraisal money.
Appraisal fee.
Never even ordered the appraisal.
Right.
So, and once you got word of that, you started tracking the guy down, got in touch with the CFO
of the bank
he moved to, and what did they say?
He said he doesn't exist.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him at all.
So, I mean, that just shows you the importance of having somebody who has a proven track record. Who we see the stuff we see will blow your mind. From that standpoint, any buyers out there, what would you kind of give them advice that, in regards to their home search, where everybody thinks agents are the same, or they may know somebody who's a part-time realtor, whose cousins, brothers, sisters in business or whatever. What would you kind of have to say to them about what they search or what they do?
The biggest thing is where they're searching. They need to have an expert on their side to make sure that they get the very best deal time after time, because the biggest thing that actually happens with that is maybe their friend, their cousin, whoever it is who is actually an agent doesn't have the expertise or the knowledge or even the search tools, because I know about homes weeks before any of the other agents do, so I'm able to give it to my buyers, our clients, before anybody else does, so then they get the very best deal time after time.
Right, that way they're not competing with other buyers out there. So,
exactly.
Same thing too, and also with our team of buyers agents here, we're able to match a lot of the buyers that we have up with sellers that we have before it hits the market, right? So we'll have it sold, before it hits the market, because we even have a tool in our system here that'll match up the potential buyer's search history, all their criteria with our house that we have, so we can score them and be able to reach out to them individually. So, cool, man. I really appreciate that. That's one thing that, out there. And one thing, too, we got 90 days, 30 seconds left.
Yeah, just about.
9-day goals, for anybody out there thinking about, a real estate career change, what would you say has happened to you, this past year, you and your entire life, not just real estate wise?
Huge growth. I mean, huge growth. Got engaged about 3 weeks ago, and it's brought me so much happiness and joy, and it's made me so clear on what I want, life-wise, business-wise, and everything in general.
Through our framework that we hear.
Exactly.
You set 9-day goals in all areas of life here in our business, body, being, your balance, relationships, obviously business, and we're all doing 9-day challenges right now, and our goals, and everybody's crushing it, and Dan's one of those that are crushing it well. So anybody looking to level up your career, reach out to me, give me a call for sure.
All right, well, action-packed show here today. A lot of stuff in. I want to thank Dan for coming in as well. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake Sloan, Sloan Realty Group, you can. 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Of course, the website again is simply BlakeSloan.com. That's S-L-O-A-N, BlakeSloan.com. You have been listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake, do it again next week?
Absolutely, I'll be here.
All right, thanks for all your help. Again, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Call today, 843-808-SOLD.
Hey, it's your friend Sean.